Aristotle famously said, "Man is by nature a political animal." Today I want to tell you all about what I've learned as being a conservative on a college campus, how to be humble and brave, but how to not be, quote, animals in your political discourse. My name is Danielle DiQuattro, and I attend Grove City College, and I am studying political science and economics. I am so happy to see you all here today, because by going to conferences like these, you are preparing yourself to be the next generation of conservative women leaders. In doing so, you will find yourself in many different political discussions with many different types of people, as I even found at a conservative college. I started my speech today with the quote that man is by nature a political animal. All of us here are passionate about the political part of that quote, but unfortunately many Americans, especially on college campuses, have taken the idea of being a political animal to the extreme, truly acting animalistic. You will hear stories today of how some of my fellow interns were treated respectfully, but others acted like animals towards them when they told their conservative beliefs. However, Aristotle's quote can also be translated as, "Man is by nature a social animal." As social creatures, we must hold ourselves up to a standard of civility. When it comes to political discourse on your future college campuses, keep this mantra in mind. Be a little sassy, but oh so classy. This will make you stand apart from the crowd. Despite the conservative environment of my college, most of my friends actually do not conform to the general conservative population. Having these friends has helped me better my arguments and shape my opinions. Therefore, here are my 3 pieces of advice I have for you on how to have political discourse with those you disagree with now and on your future college campuses. Tip number 1, be the Scalia to their Ginsburg. As many of you know, liberal progressive Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg called the late conservative Justice Scalia her best buddy, to many people's surprise. The two almost never agreed on controversial cases, but they still acted in respect, dignity, and even close friendship with one another. So despite going to my conservative college, one of my best buddies ended up being a woman who identifies as a feminist with very left-leaning political beliefs. Her and I do not agree on a lot of things politically, but have learned to respect each other's opinions and knowledge, and have even worked together towards common goals. Let me give you one example. One day I barged into her room, sat next to her on her bed, and intrusively looked over her shoulder at her computer and asked her what she was up to. She replied that she was starting a feminist group on campus. We then got into a discussion of the feminist agenda in America, and through this discussion, we came to the conclusion to work together to start a group that opens discussion and debate on topics of gender equality and inequality. Through this club, we held a panel about sexual assaults on campuses. I'm working to host a panel on whether pro-life or pro-choice is better for women, and in the future, we hope to raise money for women's safety and education around the world. By being the Scalia to her Ginsburg, we have worked together towards the common goals of opening discussion, promoting strong and independent women like CBLPI does, and helping women and girls around the world. This would not have been possible if either of us were rude, degrading, or dismissive of each other's opinions or beliefs. But while you're making friends with those you disagree with, don't forget who you are. I learned this most importantly from my mom. She had the bravery to not only say what her conservative values, but she lived them. My mom grew up in abject poverty in the housing projects of Newark. My grandpa was a schizophrenic, and the only income they had for a family of 6 was a disability check from the government. My mom was considered my grandpa's favorite, but this didn't mean much because he didn't even know her name, and he called her the one with the glasses. My mom could have believed this lie that she wasn't good enough, and her only choice in life was to live in a cycle of poverty depending on the government. However, after her father died when she was only 16 years old, and they were so poor that she had to share one bed with her mom and her sister, and her brother left for the army, she decided to get a job to provide for her family. She would give all the money she earned to her family, graduate high school, and move on to earn an associate's degree. 40 years later, she votes conservative every time and doesn't depend on the government for anything. She had the courage to live what she believed, as we should have the courage to say what we believe, especially in college and even now. But you know what my mom says when she tells her story? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Which leads to my final tip. don't forget to laugh. This means to have a sense of humor when it comes to the tough parts of life or political discussions on your future college campuses. Guy Benson and Mary Catherine Ham wrote a book called End of Discussion. Both authors are political commentators, and Mary Catherine Ham has spoken at a Claire Booth's Policy Institute events. The book explains how the outrage of the left has made America less free and fun. The book has a whole chapter dedicated to how the left is trying to shut down discussions on college campuses, like how a DJ was fired for playing a top hit song because of the triggers it contained. But the authors talk about these cases using irony, wit, and humor. So I think that while we are being brave and standing up for what we believe, we shouldn't lose our sense of humor about the situation and ourselves. Humor will make you more approachable to those who disagree with you, and life will just be more fun. And who doesn't want to have fun in college? So I urge you to continue this legacy. Stand up for conservative values on your future college campus. Make friends with those who could be enemies. Stand strong in your conservative beliefs in the face of adversity, but don't lose your sense of humor. It's not easy being a conservative woman, but it's worth it.